All right, so I was in carpet cleaning for a little over 9 years and saw a lot of interesting people over the years, a lot of interesting stories. So a lot of people have asked me to do this, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Basically, what I did for 9 years was carpet cleaning. So we did carpet cleaning, tile, upholstery, leather, hardwood. So I was in and out of people's houses every single day. And we came in contact with 4 or 5 different homeowners, husband and wife, kids, relatives, every single day. So going into people's lives and seeing how they live and watching all these funny things unfold over the years was absolutely hilarious. It really made the day and kind of kept you smiling, to be honest. Um, so I'll throw a couple of these stories out there, but the first one's going to be about Debra. Good old Debra. So Debra, so basically what happens is when you get a job, you get the customer's information, you give them a call, you let them know that you're going to be to their house within a certain amount of time. So I call Debra, and you can always get a sense of kind of how this person is going to be and interact with you based on the tone of their voice. If they're short with you, you know that they're probably not going to be talkative. If they're energetic, it's probably going to be a good job and a nice customer. So you always get a sense of that customer, usually I would say 8 out of 10 times, based on the initial phone call. So the initial phone call goes like this. Hi, is this Debra? Yeah. Okay. Hi, this is Eric with such and such. Just wanted to let you know I'll be to your home in about 30 to 40 minutes if that's all right with you. Okay, well, I'm sitting here waiting on you. Okay, great. See you soon. So at that point, I knew that she was either agitated, irritated, something happened with customer service that I don't know about. And in my head, I'm thinking, it's my job to build a rapport with the customer and build a relationship with them. So in my head, I'm thinking that I'm going to have to try to win her over or get her out of her bad mood. One of those types of deals. So I remember pulling up to Deborah's house, and it's not really an elaborate house, but it's a pretty nice sized home. It's pretty average. Um, I pull up, and Deborah has one of those like nurse or surgeon mask on. You know what I mean? That goes around the back of your head and goes over their face. She has this on her face, and she's standing in the middle of her driveway. Now, the reason I thought this was weird is because it was like January. It was like 4 degrees outside, and she didn't tell me she was going to be in the driveway. I just pull up and I see her standing there. So I'm thinking, wow, psychopath, how long have you been standing outside? Because I'm pretty sure it's like 0 degrees outside right now. You have to be freezing. But she's standing there just like it's not bothering her. No coat on, just a mask on. And that was my first impression of Deborah. So I pull up. She's standing in the driveway. Obviously, I can't pull into the driveway. So I pull up to like where this tree was on the side of the road by her house. And I roll down the window. She comes walking over with her mask on, and I'm like, oh God, what is this going to be about? So she tells me that I can't park in the driveway. And I'm like, okay, where would you like me to park? She's like, well, right here's fine. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's a little bit more work for me parking on the street versus her driveway, but if it's her house, I'm gonna follow her rules and do what she wants, and try to make her happy. So no problem, Deborah, with the mask. I'll pull on the street. Give me 1 second. So she goes back inside. I turn the truck around in the neighbor's driveway because I don't want to touch her driveway because I don't know what the hell she's going to do if I get into it. Pull around in the neighbor's driveway, pull on the street. So I get a couple of pieces of equipment, walk up to the front door. So she has like this long, windy, curvy driveway. And I'm walking up the driveway, and like the sidewalk goes all the way around. It's like curvy around the flower beds and the mulch and stuff. So I'm walking, and in my peripheral, I see she's got like this big glass door. It's like a 2-piece glass door, and she's standing there like this with her mask on, staring at me as I'm walking up the whole time, not taking her eyes off me. I can see her, plain as day. And at this point, I didn't know if I was going to be a murder victim, if I was going to be somebody on the first 48. Did I tell my kids and wife that I love them before I left this morning? I didn't know what was going to happen. I really didn't. So I'm walking up to the door, and she doesn't open it. She sees me. I'm right there by her front door. She doesn't open it. So I knock, she's literally on the other side of the glass, and she sees me, doesn't open the door, but I knock politely. Come on in, and she's like, all right, are you ready? And I'm like, maybe. I don't know, Deborah. What the hell are you talking about here? Kind of scaring me. So I'm like, all right, well, first of all, I'm Eric. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for having us out today. So I go to shake her hand. She doesn't hold back or anything. She shakes my hand. No issue. She turns right back around, and in the front door, there's her entryway, and then it kind of curves around into a little hallway, and then it leads into her kitchen. So she shakes my hand, and she starts walking that way towards the kitchen. So I start following her because I think that she's about to show me what I'm going to do for her. Well, she goes over to her kitchen sink and starts washing her hands as soon as I shake her hand. Bitch, I just washed my hands. What do you... Okay, no problem, Deborah, with the mask. I knew this was going to be a little bit weird, but we'll go with the flow here. You wash your hands. I won't shake your hand anymore because I'm so disgusting, apparently. So anyways, so I ask her what we got going on for the day, and she takes me up to the bedroom. She's like, well, I got a chore for you. It's going to be, a little disgusting. She's like, I'm sure you can smell the odor from here. And I'm like, no, I don't really smell anything. I walk into the house, and the odor hits me in the face. And sometimes it's so bad with odor from either cat piss, which is the worst, dog piss, or feces, whatever it is. A lot of times, if it's really bad, you can smell it from the porch before you even walk in the house. I didn't smell it from the porch, but as soon as I walked in, I smelled something. And so she tells me that I have a chore. So she takes me upstairs. So upstairs, she's got the master bedroom on the right. She's got 2 kids' bedrooms in the hallway, little bathroom, and then down at the very end, she's got her office. So the office in the office, we walk in there, has a glass style. It's all glass with black legs, computer desk. There's one recliner in there, and there's a mattress that's laying up against the wall. So we walk in, and instantly I'm like, oh boy, what do we got going on here? So she shows me. She's like, yeah, so my kid just left for college. We started reorganizing his room, started taking some stuff out. We moved his bed, and that's when we found all this. And I could tell exactly where the bed was based on what wasn't really dirty in the room. So you could see the perfect square of where the mattress and box spring and stuff was. Now, all of the piss and the shit that was there was not just under the bed. It was on the outside as well. So she told me that she just found this when she moved the bed. And I'm like, Deborah, with a mask, you are lying to me. You did not just find this. It was clearly on the outside too, but we'll go with your story. Whatever, it's your house, whatever you want to believe. So she starts telling me this, and you look at the floor, and it is literally dog poop caked onto the carpet, and probably 7 or 8 different places. And I mean, it's rock hard. It's not going anywhere. You need a hammer and a chisel to get that stuff out. So it's clearly been there for a long time. There's yellow piss marks all around it. It's all on the baseboards. You can tell nothing has been cleaned in here for a long, long time. Which is crazy because you would think Debra would be a clean freak with her mask on and, washing her hands right after I introduced myself. But this room clearly hadn't been cleaned by her son or her in forever. So she starts telling me, she's like, all right, yeah, I need to get all this up. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to tell you straight up. I try to be polite with her, but if there's a bunch of feces caked on the floor, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. Because if I touch that, my equipment's going to get all that shit and piss all over it and caked on it. And then I got to bring it into the next customer's house. And I'm not doing that. My standards for my equipment is higher than that. And I'm not trying to bring that into somebody else's house and clean their floors with shit and piss all over it. And they got little kids crawling around and no, I'm not doing it, Deborah, with a mask. I'm not doing it. So I tell her, I'm like, all right, so I already know the answer to everything I'm asking her, but I ask her, I'm like, so have these spots been here for a while? These feces spots. She's like, well, I don't really know. Like I said, we just, when we moved the bed, we found them. And I'm like, we're literally standing over feces right now that's in the walkway of this room. You didn't just find this, Deborah, with a mask. So she's like, yeah, I don't really know. We just found this. I'm like, all right, well, um, I have no problem cleaning this room for you, but there's nothing I can do or use to get this caked feces out of the carpet. Um, it's kind of a sanitary and health risk for not only me, but my equipment. And then, I started to explain bringing all this stuff into the next customer's house and how that would be unfair and unsanitary to them. And she was like, she started getting agitated, I could tell. And she was like, well, that's what we called you for. And I'm like, I understand, but I don't think that you obviously probably didn't explain this over the phone, that this was the issue that you had, and they didn't relay this to me. If I would have known this, I would have, declined to come here in the first place. Like, we don't just come pick up stuck feces to the carpet. We can clean it. We can absolutely clean the surface of it, but I can't clean over the shit. So we got to get that out of the carpet first, and that's not what I do. I'm going to clean it. I'm going to clean the carpet for you, but I'm not going to take the shit out. Can't do it. You're going to do that, Debra, with the mask. So she starts getting real angry. I can tell on her face. She's not really saying much, but at this time, I think it was the garage door that started going up, because we were right above where the garage was. So the garage started going up, and all of a sudden she's like, George, can you come here? So I'm guessing this is her husband. So he starts coming up the stairs, and he's just, a peach, just like her, just an absolute peach. Just doesn't introduce myself. I don't want to shake his hand. I don't have any hand sanitizer on me to give to him afterwards. I don't know if he's going to be disgusted by that or not, just like she was. So Debra starts telling George, she's like, so he's telling me that he can't clean this room. And so I'm trying to explain to him, because she's not telling him the whole story. I'm like, well, what I said was I can clean the room. That's no problem at all. That's what I'm here for you guys for, to do this job you called us out for. But what I can't do is I can't get down, scrape all this feces off the carpet. Like, this is going to have to get up first before we do any cleaning for you. We're not a restoration company. We can't just come up and start grabbing all the stuff off the carpet. We're gonna clean it for you. So I'm explaining this to the husband, and he's a little bit more understanding. And he's like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But the next option would be to rip up the carpet, I guess. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you're not able to get this up off the carpet, then that would probably be your next best option. And Debra stops George in the middle of a sentence, and she goes, no, he's gonna get it up. And I look at her and I'm like, first of all, you're not my mother, Debra with a mask. So she tells him that I'm going to get it up, just demanding it's going to happen. So I politely tell her that I can't do it until they get this up off the carpet. So she starts getting irritated. Well, long story short, she finally ends up not doing the job because she doesn't want to get down and get it up off the carpet. Go figure. So we decide that she's not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Nobody in this house right now is going to get that shit up off this damn carpet right now. So we decide that. So George leaves. I think he went into the bedroom or downstairs or something. And they had, I think it was a golden retriever and another smaller dog. So I'm about to leave the house because I can't do the job. She doesn't want it done. So all of a sudden the doorbell rings. When the doorbell rings, the smaller of the two dogs, the smaller dog goes absolutely berserk. He starts running around in circles. He starts running around the homeowner, just absolutely nuts. So, mind you, this lady has been an absolute B to me the whole time. She was cussing during our conversation, saying that I was gonna do it. What did I even call you guys for? I could have called out somebody else, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there taking it, it's not worth the risk, losing my job over. I'm just sitting here taking all the blows she's giving to me, just boom, 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 cuss word to me right in my face, which was pretty common with, some of these homeowners that we came into contact with. So all of a sudden the doorbell rings and this little dog starts running around the house, running in and out of the hallway into this little office where we were, and he starts running around her. And I thought I heard her husband yell up to her doorbell. Well, obviously the doorbell rang. You don't even need to tell her that. The dog's going absolutely berserk right now. So she starts to walk out of the room, I'm guessing to go get the door. I follow right behind her. All of a sudden the dog comes from up the stairs. So here's the hallway, there's the stairs, and the front door is right there. So all of a sudden the dog comes up the stairs, comes this way towards us. She's in front of me, I'm behind her. The dog absolutely runs as fast as he can. I mean, just an absolute Olympic sprinter. Runs right at her feet, trips her, and she falls back, and she's doing one of those dramatic, ah, with the mask on, right? So it's absolutely hilarious to me. So we're right in the entryway of where the computer room is. So she's like right here, right in front of me. Now, mind you, they had that computer desk, the glass desk with the black legs, right to the left of where we were. So she's right in front of me. I'm about to follow her out of this room. The dog comes up, turns into the hallway, turns into this room. He just blasts right through her legs. Somehow she trips. She trips and acts like it's the most dramatic fall of her life. She ends up falling backwards, hitting her head on this table. Now I can tell it wasn't one of those you're gonna die falls at first. You know, you can tell when somebody hits their head hard enough that, well, something's probably wrong with them. But you could tell that, maybe you couldn't tell, I don't know. But I thought she was gonna be okay in my head. Maybe it was just because she was yelling at me. But so she falls because the dog runs in and trips her, hits her head. Now, I'm standing there as she's lying on the ground with the dog going absolutely berserk. The dog's jumping on her stomach, off of her, on her stomach, off of her. That's hilarious to me. I don't know, you know, mind you, this lady just tried to cuss me out and, you know, call me all types of names. So I'm watching her lie on the ground and I'm thinking, wow, Debra with the mask, karma is such a bitch, isn't it? Karma is a bitch. So I'm thinking, man, do I help her? Do I laugh and walk out the door? Do I kick her? What do I do? What do I do? You know? So I do the nice thing and I help her up. I ask her if she's okay, and you know, this whole time she's still got her mask on, and I'm really trying not to bust out laughing because it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Just the dog tripping her falling backwards somehow. I don't even know how that happened. The dog runs into the room, she falls backwards and hits her head on the computer desk. Funniest thing ever. It really was. But that just goes to show, man, you gotta be nice to people, because karma will get you. Debra with a mask, that computer desk was meant for your head to hit it because you were a bitch to me. So, Debra, if you're watching, if you're ever gonna watch this, I want you to remember that. And remember how you treat people, okay? Don't wash your hands after you touch my hand, okay? Bad karma will get you.